Hello bookish people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. In today's video we are going to be doing a book haul where everything was on sale. I went to Barnes & Noble obviously during the 50% off hardcover sale, and then also we're going to go over the audiobooks that I bought during the Black Friday Audible sale. They had like a bunch of titles on sale. I bought some. We'll talk about it and let's get into it. But first off, we're going with an all natural look today because over Christmas took all my makeup to my parents' house, left it there, and they live 2 hours away from me. So we're just going natural until I can get my makeup back. And I did my nails. So I did these for Christmas, New Year's, and we're going to a wedding tomorrow. So I feel like these kind of encompassed everything really nicely. The lady did such a nice job. It was the first time I ever had matte nails and I'm obsessed. I love it. So cute. So yeah, let's get into the book haul. I'm very excited. So kind of my goal for 2023 is to really only read new releases either via audiobook or on my Kindle, and then if I like them and I rate them 5 stars, I can buy them and put them on my shelves. My only exception to that is to my book of the month subscription. I'm still gonna get like 3 books a month from them, and the reason I want to do that though is because I really only have room for these 2 bookshelves at the moment, and they're kind of full, as you can tell, and I have a little book cart which is also full, so I really don't have room for new books. So ideally I would just fill my shelves up with 5-star reads. Like all the books on my shelves would be books that I've read and they're all 5 stars. That's kind of the goal for my shelves. So in order to do that, I cannot be buying books that I have not read. I have to only buy books that are 5-star reads for these shelves. So yeah, there are some exceptions to these rules. I really did take advantage of the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale to get books that I had read through my library, and I rated 5 stars. Now I own the physical editions of them, and also just some sequels and other things. So let's just get into it. So we have lots to talk about. So let's just get into it. So the first book I picked up is Galatea by Madeline Miller. This book is so small and cute. Honestly, I own Circe and I own The Song of Achilles. I have not read either of them. I own both of them. So naturally I bought her new release because now I own everything by her. And this one I really only got because it was half off and it was $6. And I was like, okay, well, this is the only way I'm gonna own it. And this is just a short story. I'm not really sure what it's about, but it is so small. It has 56 pages, and look, oh, that's like the ending. Why am I showing you the ending? Why am I looking at the ending? Has 56 pages, and the font on here is so small. Like, this is gonna be a breeze to get through. It's probably the first book I'm gonna read by her because it's easy. It's easy breezy, okay? The next book I picked up is Amari and the Great Game, which is the second book in the Amari and the Knight Brothers series. I do own the first one. I haven't read it yet, but I took this opportunity to buy the second one. And then it has a sticker, signed first edition. Okay, let's open the book. Let's open the book. Here's part of the, it's supposed to be signed. It's not signed, which is fine. Like, I got it half off. I didn't really care for it to be signed either because, you know, I haven't read the first one, so I was like, oh, cool, it's signed edition. And then when I got home, like literally today, I opened it and I was like, wait, it's not signed. It's just kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, we have this one, Amari in the Great Game. It is the second book in the series. I'm hoping to read that series in 2023. I really want 2023 to be the year of fantasy for me because I have not really read too much fantasy in 2022 and I do miss it. And yeah, so I'm trying to get all my fantasy books read in 2023. The next book I picked up is Never Ever Getting Back Together. Reminds me of T. Swift. We have, this is by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a YA romance. So it's about these 2 girls who go on this reality show, I think, to win over this guy, but then they end up falling in love with each other. And I was like, okay, that sounds amazing. That sounds like so much fun. That's like my dream for The Bachelor. Honestly, like a bi bachelor would be great. Like everyone just dates each other. That sounds like real entertainment. Anyway, so yeah, there's this book. I am very excited to read it. This was one that was on my watch list. That's like why I bought it, because my library, I recommended for my library to buy this. They never did. And it's a new release I had my eye on. I was able to get it for 50% off. I'm very happy with that. So I'm very excited to read this. Definitely probably going to read it in January because this is one that has a lot of hype in my brain about it. The next book I picked up is Well, That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q. Sutanto. So this one I read through the Library Libby app. I listened to the audiobook for it, absolutely loved it. And I'd really love to have a collection of all Jessie Q. Sutanto's books because she is one of my favorite authors. I did post a video about authors I discovered and loved in 2022. She was on the list. Everything she's written I've loved so far, so I definitely wanted to own this version because I own Dial A for Aunties in a Wedding. I have pre-ordered her newest release, so I would love to just have all her books in a row and be cute. And this is such an adorable cover. Like, how could I not own it for my shelves? Honestly, I'll probably reread this too in 2023 as well because it was just so adorable, and I have the physical version now, so I should reread it. The next book I picked up is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I've heard so many great things about this, and I really want to get into fantasy, like I said, and also really Greek mythology retellings. Again, I own Circe, Song of Achilles. I own another Greek mythology book. I don't remember where it is, but I own another Greek mythology book. So why don't we just add this one to the list of unread Greek mythology books on my bookshelves? So yeah, I kind of picked this up. This one was more of a spontaneous one, and we'll see how I like it. I've heard really amazing things about it, or else I wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And also it seems to be a bit of a shorter read as well. So we shall see how this goes. People say this is really going for the vibes. And one of the booktubers I really love to watch says just power through the beginning because it was kind of confusing at first, but it makes sense, and she ended up really loving it. So I'm very excited to read this one because a lot of booktubers I trust have highly rated this. The next book that I picked up is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. This, I believe, is a horror novel, and it also says a werewolf novel. So horror is one of the categories I'd like to get into more. I guess categories, genres. A genre I would like to explore more. I have read, I think the only horror novel I've really read is what is it called, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and I really enjoyed that one. Oh, I also read Horror Story by Grady Hendrix. I really enjoyed that as well. What other horror books? Oh, The Hacienda, that was considered horror on the Goodreads Choice Awards, although I didn't really find it to be a horror novel. Like, I didn't find it to be scary really at all. It was more of like a gothic story. But yeah, it's just a genre I would like to get into more, and this one sounded really interesting, and I love a good werewolf story. I'm not opposed to a good werewolf story. So yeah, I'm really hoping this one is going to be a winner. The next book I picked up is Jackal by Erin E. Adams. This book I read via Libby app, the audiobook. I listened to it. It was amazing. I really enjoyed this book a lot. When I was reading it, I really wish I had the physical version of it because I really wanted to physically read the ending because the ending I felt was a little confusing. But this was one I really loved it up until the ending. So now I'm going to reread it. I'm going to reread it physically, and we'll see if my rating changes from a 4-star to a 5-star. I think if I physically read it, I might be able to like understand the ending better. Like, it's not that I didn't understand it. Like, I got it. Like, I got what was happening, but it was kind of confusing. So hopefully when I see the words with my eyes, it'll make more sense. So I'm very excited. And also this cover is just beautiful. It was a really great story. This is the book. If you like Get Out, you'll love this book because that's kind of the vibes this book gives me. The next book I picked up is The Family Game by Catherine Stedman. So this was a Book of the Month selection. I did not get it through Book of the Month. Big regret, because you know what? I listened to the audiobook for this and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And actually, was this a Book of the Month pick? Now I'm second guessing myself. No, I really think it was, and I didn't pick it. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm second guessing myself, but I think it was. Anyway, so I didn't get it through Book of the Month. I did listen to the audiobook through my library. Absolutely loved it. I rated it 5 stars. This is a perfect, I said, Christmas thriller because there's a whole scene about Krampus in here. So like December is the perfect time to read this. And yeah, I really enjoyed this thriller a lot. In this, you're following our main character, and she is a writer, and she is dating this really rich guy. He comes from a rich family that he's estranged from. He goes, they go back to his family because he's trying to make connections with them again, build that relationship back. And his father pulls her into her study and was like, hey, since you're a mystery thriller author, like, can you listen to this recording I made of a story idea I have and give me thoughts on it? She listens to the recording, and it's a confession to murder. And she was like, wait, did he actually murder somebody, or is this like just his story? And that's kind of what it's about. It's rich family drama. I absolutely loved it. I read it in one day, and it was amazing. And this is another one, even though I know the ending, I'd also like to reread as well. That's the thing. I did see other books I had listened to on my library app, and I didn't buy them at the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale. I really only bought ones I absolutely loved and ones I could see myself rereading, and this is definitely one that I could see myself rereading, especially the physical version. When I love a book and I rate it 5 stars and I've listened to the audiobook, I always want to go back and read it physically again because I feel like you can miss some things when you're listening to the audiobook versus when you're physically reading it because you can kind of zone out for a second or whatever. And like also too, like, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I read the physical version of that. I absolutely loved it, rated it 5 stars. Then I went to listen to the audiobook a couple months later, and I feel like I picked up on things that I even didn't pick up on when I physically read it. It's just rereading a story. You kind of gather more information. You can kind of see the foreshadowing, and I feel like you have a better understanding of it sometimes. So yeah, I try to get ones that I would reread. And mystery thrillers, that could be hard. Like, what mystery thriller do you want to reread once you know the plot twist? But this one is definitely one I would reread. So yeah, very excited about this one, and the cover is so shiny. And the last book I picked up from this sale, and then we're gonna go over the 2 books that I ordered, then we'll go over the Audible books. But the last one I got in person was The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. So the first 2 books in this series, this is part of the Thursday Murder Club series, I own in paperback. I'm probably gonna give those to my dad because I want him to read the series. I feel like he would like it. And then I'm gonna find the first 2 on eBay in hardcover so I can have all matching hardcover editions. That would be nice. So yeah, I really like this series. In this series, you're following the Thursday Murder Club, which is a club at this retirement village, and it's these 4 senior citizens that basically try to solve cold cases. The first one, there in the first book, there is an there's a murder that happens. One of the developers for the retirement community they live in is murdered, and even though they study cold cases, they're like, wait, this is a real life case, it is in our development, we are going to solve it. And then the second one, it is another crime that's kind of happening in real time. This one I've heard actually focuses on a cold case, so I'm very excited to read this one. I love all the characters. The first 2 I listened to the audiobook, but I really want to do a reread of the whole series and read the physical editions of them. So yeah, very excited for this. Mainly I want to do that because again, I want to reread the first 2 just because I like to read them both ways. And this one, the wait time for the audiobook is way too long for my library, so we just gotta sit down and physically read it. Now on to the books that I ordered on barnesandnoble.com because they did not have them in stock at my store. The first one is Finley Donovan Knocks Them Dead, which is the second book in the Finley Donovan series. So the 3rd book is actually coming out in January. This is another one I want to do a reread of the first 2, and I want to read the 3rd one. I want to read them all physically, so I bought the second one. I do have the first one. You can kind of see up there, probably not, it's too far away, but I have the first one up there. I thrifted it. Oh my god, I really did not think I was going to thrift that book. I was so excited when I found that book at the thrift store because I feel like a lot of the books that I'm interested in I rarely find at the thrift store, mainly because they're more new releases, and plus the people around here don't necessarily read the same genres I read or read the same authors I read. I feel like at my thrift stores I'm always seeing like Tom Clancy, Danielle Steele. So yeah, I can't wait for this book to come in because I'm going to read all of them together and just binge them all in a row, and it's going to be a fun time. So I ordered that one, and then the other one I ordered is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a Carrie retelling. I have never read Carrie by Stephen King, but I heard Katie Colson talking about this book, The Weight of Blood. The way she described it made me want to read it, and I was like, oh my god, this book sounds so amazing. So I saw it was on sale. I was like, yes, we have to order it. And this, I believe, is like a horror book, right? Because it's a Carrie retelling, but it's a YA horror. So there we go. I mean, I am not someone who gets easily spooked by books. I mean, I get spooked by a scary movie, and it's mainly not the plots that spook me, it's the jump scares. The jump scares get me. There's no jump scares in books, okay? So you know what? That's why I really want to get into horror books more, because I do like horror movies. I just don't like the jump scare part of horror movies. So yeah, so we have The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. Very excited to read this one. Now we're going to go over the books I bought during the Black Friday Audible sale. I got a few different books, so let's talk about them. The first ones I picked up are Juniper Hill and Indigo Ridge by Devaney Perry. So these books I've seen all over TikTok. So many people have hyped them up. I think they're like a murder mystery and a romance book, but I don't think they're like a cozy mystery. I think it's just like drama, murder, mystery, and romance. I don't know. I've heard a lot of great things about them. I've seen them all over Book Talk, so I'm very excited to see these. Once I saw them in the Audible sales, like add to cart, add to cart. I needed to read these because, you know, I'm easily influenced by TikTok. And the way I did the Audible sale is like, you guys, I always like a deal, okay? So I went on there, every book I was interested in, I opened it in a new tab. The ones that weren't available at my library, the ones that audiobooks were not available, like my library didn't buy them, I bought them on Audible. But like there's books I wanted, but my library had them, so like why would I buy them through Audible? You know what I mean? So I got these two, Juniper Hill and Indigo Ridge. The next book I got is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, another one I've seen all over Book Talk, and honestly this is more of a chunky romance book, so I feel like it'll take me forever to get through it. So I feel like sometimes it's easier to digest things for me personally with audiobooks because I listen to them while I work. So something that I find to be like kind of intimidating, it's easier for me to listen to it on an audiobook. And I don't know why. I've heard the plot to this book. I've seen how thick it is. It intimidates me a little bit, but I'm interested. Because all the TikTok girlies love it. So I got the audiobook. I'm very excited to listen to this one. And then what else did I order? Okay, next I ordered All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I've never read a Mariana Zapata book before. And again, she writes some chunky romances. Everyone says her books are bricks. And they say they're super slow burn. Both those things intimidate me. Long books intimidate me. A slow burn romance intimidates me. So they had it on sale on Audible. Obviously, I bought it because, again, easier to listen to the audiobook. So I don't really know anything about what this is about. All I know about Mariana Zapata is, again, long books. They are sports romances. Well, not all of them, but some of them are. I think this one might be. And again, they're slow burns. So we shall see. She has so much hype behind her. So if I feel like if I'm going to read a slow burn romance, she has to be the one I read. And the last book I bought during the Audible sale is House of Earth and Blood, the first Crescent City novel. I do own the physical version of this, but I also wanted to own the audio version as well because it is a high fantasy book. And sometimes for me, the best experience is listening to the audiobook and physically reading it at the same time. And this isn't one I can get through my library because this is an Audible exclusive. So I just wanted to own it. So there we go. Now I own it. And yeah, oh my God, I did buy another book during... My God, I totally forgot to show you. I'll be right back. I totally forgot to show you guys this book because I bought it at a separate Barnes & Noble. And this was during the 50% off all hardcover sales. I bought House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. What? Tell me why I made a special trip to buy this book when I haven't read the first one. Tell me why. I don't know. But you know what? I was like, I plan to read the first one in 2023. Okay? I plan to read it very soon in 2023. And... when am I ever else gonna buy this book on sale? I'm definitely not gonna find it at the thrift store. So here we go. I was like, this is my opportunity to own it for a discount. And if you know me, I love a deal, I love a discount. So I bought it. So now I have to read the first two. But you know what I did this morning? I started Throne of Glass. So my goal is go through all of Throne of Glass, go through all of ACOTAR, then start these. But like I'm hoping to have all that done by June. Can I do it? Can I do it? Maybe. It's a possibility. Why June? I don't know. I randomly came up with that in my head just now. But the point is, I own every Sarah J. Maas book now and haven't read one. Because you know what? The TikTok girlies got to me in buying all of them, but they haven't fully gotten to me into reading them yet. But again, now I'm on page 25 of Throne of Glass as of this morning. So the Sarah J. Maas journey is starting in 2023. And I bought this. So yes, that is everything I bought during the Barnes & Noble sale and then the Audible Black Friday sale. And I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.